And Ram Man.
Hell yeah!
I remember the first time I ever laid eyes on Ram Man. He was a dodgy, short man who, true to his name, rammed at things with his head. I thought the character design was lazy at best. A man who rams named Ram Man? But as I explored more and more of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe, I realized the character somehow works. Ram Man is not something a writer threw in at the last possible moment to finish some arbitrary deadline. Real thought, time, and effort has gone into his story to make sure that he is a well-rounded character. So, let's take a deep dive and find out who Ram Man really is.
In the series, he knocks a large rock from the dark moon.
Origins of Ram Man. One mini-comic we can look at to know about Ram Man's origin is Masters of the Universe He-Man Meets Ram Man, written by Gary Cohn and illustrated by Mark Teixeira, Todd Smith, and Anthony Tolan. It was a chance encounter between him and He-Man. He-Man was rushing somewhere on an urgent mission when Ram Man stopped him, asking him to go back as he had trespassed into his territory. He-Man tried to explain that he was merely passing through, but Ram Man was not interested in whatever he had to say. He assumed that He-Man was tricking him just like everyone else and toppled He-Man off his vehicle by butting his head to it. He-Man had enough, and though he did not want to fight, he did not have a choice. He punched Ram Man, knocking him down face first, and went on his merry way. As Ram Man got back to his feet, Skeletor, who had been observing the ordeal from a safe distance, rushed to meet him. He knew Ram Man did not have a good opinion about He-Man and wanted to put his hatred to work as soon as possible. Skeletor tells Ram Man that He-Man is the terror of Eternia, unlike himself, Skeletor, the noble hero, who is on the path of greatness to defeat him. Skeletor took Ram Man to Castle Grayskull and told him that He-Man was inside laughing at him. Ram Man, determined to make him stop, started using his head to ram down the door of Castle Grayskull. The sorceress realized that Castle Grayskull was in danger and left to find He-Man. Meanwhile, He-Man was occupied fighting a foul giant beast that had orange fur and 4 hands. As he slayed the beast, the sorceress pulled him away from there and redirected his attention to Castle Grayskull. He-Man rushed back to Castle Grayskull, where Ram Man was in pain from using his head over and over again. But Skeletor did not let him rest and used his magic to compel Ram Man to headbutt the door over and over again. He-Man ordered Skeletor to release Ram Man from his spell, but of course, Skeletor did not listen. Instead, he sent Beast Man to stop him while ramming his head over and over again to the door. Ram Man realized he was mistaken. He-Man was not the evil one, instead, Skeletor was. When He-Man defeats Beast-Man, Skeletor faces He-Man himself. He uses his magic to strike down He-Man, inadvertently freeing Ram Man from the spell. Skeletor tries to strike He-Man down when Ram Man retaliates by headbutting his spine. He-Man and Ram Man team up, and Skeletor realizes he cannot withstand their combined strength, so he flees, hoping to come back when the odds are in his favor. Ram Man is disappointed of losing his foes, but He-Man consoles him, reminding him that they had each gained a new friend. Now, his origins are not spelled out completely for us, but through the story, we realize that Ram Man was very territorial. He had been tricked over and over again by someone before, which is why he has zero trust in He-Man's words. It is a possibility that Ram Man was robbed of his home and land, which is why he was so territorial in the first place. We get more of an insight on his origins from the Masters of the Universe Classic toy line. The info on the back of the box gave us Ram Man's real name, Crass. Crass grew up in a village just outside the Vine Jungle. His village was constantly attacked by Beast-Man. During one such attack, Crass wore his family's ancient mystical armor, which was complete with a helmet. This armor had the ability of absorbing raw force, so he had no trouble driving Beast-Man away from his village. As he had rammed his head into his enemies like a battering ram, Crass earned the name Ram Man. The info goes on to tell us the tale that we just explored in the mini-comic. The Ram Man that most of us were introduced to was one from the Filmation show. Now, this guy was not as aggressive as the one in the comics and was a bit shorter. The mini-comics also did not show him as a dim-witted character. He was confused, yes, but he wasn't stupid. In the Filmation show, however, he was to comic relief. who had a childlike heart and childlike mind. He was the comic effect and an easily likable character. His 2002 version was taller, so tall that he towered over He-Man. This show added another piece of information to his lore. Ram-Man is extremely afraid of the dark. One day when Ram-Man was still a wee little boy, he got lost in the deep dark caverns of the Plains of Perpetua. The miles and miles of complete darkness suffocated him and traumatized him so much that he still had his fear as an adult. During one of their adventures, Ram-Man had to fight shadow beasts in the dark. He tried to keep his fear a secret, but Man-at-Arms Duncan, who is quite perceptive, found out. Ram-Man was afraid Duncan would think of him as a coward, but Duncan assured him he did not, as his definition of a courageous man was someone who acted despite his fear. The 2021 Netflix series reimagined Ram-Man as a young girl named Crass, and he was mostly left out of Masters of the Universe Revelation and Revolution, as he appeared only in a small cameo appearance. Sorry, Ram-Man fans. Thankfully, he does make a significant appearance in the 2026 Masters of the Universe film. He has a mustache, unlike any of his other predecessors, and a pretty comic-accurate armor. Ram-Man's armor and super hard helmet. Ram-Man's key feature is his stony armor. His original toy and comic version shows a pretty metal-laden armor. Just from one single look, the armor looks quite heavy. It is a connected helmet that makes you wonder whether Ram-Man can move his neck side to side. The Filmation version has armor similar to the toy and mini-comic version. Personally, I like what the 2002 show did with his armor. It looks more realistic. The metal shoulders of his arm go around his neck, and his helmet does not appear attached, giving him enough space to move his neck as he pleases. Depending on the continuity, Ram-Man's armor is mystically powered and gives him the extra strength needed to take down Skeletor's forces. A fighting style like no other, and springy legs. Ram-Man's signature fighting style is that of a battering ram. He has his hands by his side, his body straight like a baton. He then jumps up and rams into anything horizontally while remaining perfectly parallel to the ground. He was never a martial artist, but that did not mean he was a one-trick pony. There are some missions of the Masters of the Universe where Ram-Man offers to be a distraction, using his coiled legs to jump up and down to draw the attention of enemies. We can't talk about Ram-Man without talking about his legs. He has spiral legs that can coil and uncoil like a spring. These are perfect to help him launch himself and batter down whoever he wishes to. The Filmation version had a boing sound that went off each time Ram-Man jumped on his legs, but the 2002 show opted to remove this funny but original feature of the character in order to make him more macho. The 2026 makeover of his mystical armor. His armor really got a glow-up in the 2026 Masters of the Universe. John Zhu Zhang plays Ram-Man in the film, and his costume was designed by Richard Sale of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness and X-Men First Class fame. His main concern was making sure the headpiece rotated, as without it, Ram-Man could not emote well. In his classic armor, Sale noted it would be impossible for him to raise his arms beyond a certain point. In the comics and the animated shows, he didn't need to. In the film, however, they needed him doing some hand-to-hand combat, so the visual effects team put together his elongated spring-like legs. So if you've been looking for an excuse or a reason to watch the new film, well then, this is your sign. This is what makes Ram-Man the uniquely well-rounded character we know, and his fighting style is just another feature that feeds into his personality like a missing piece in a jigsaw puzzle. Everything about him makes sense in a way. Like most widely grown franchises, there are some inconsistencies, of course. Some versions are dim-witted, some are smart, some versions have coiled legs, some do not. But Ram-Man's essence remains the same. A hero whose brute strength does not define his character. How about you guys? What do you think of Ram-Man? Is he a good addition to the Masters of the Universe, or a mere time filler? Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. As always, do like and share this video if you find it entertaining, and subscribe to our channel. A subscription is the best way to be updated on all our latest content. This is John of Marvelous Videos, and I'll be back with some more awesome stuff on the Masters of the Universe. Until then, stay safe, peace out.